My name is Braden and I make six figures helping creators sell their info. And in this video, I'm gonna help you do the same if you're either a creator wanting to sell your own info, or if you're an operator like me who basically pulls the strings behind a creator's business and is the CEO and helps them make money. I'm gonna show you how. So basically, just to give you more context to what I actually do, is I'm basically the CEO, the creator's the face of the business, they're driving traffic, and then my goal is to actually convert those people into paying customers, provide them as much value as possible, and then increase their lifetime gross profit and just make them as valuable as possible as customers. And so I've been doing this for about a year now. I've worked with a couple of different creators, from like fitness creators to make money online offers. My biggest month was 33K just through organic traffic in June. And yeah, we're gonna be hopefully scaling to 100K per month with a trading offer before the end of 2024. But yeah, in this video, I'm basically just gonna break down how I actually launch offers. And yeah, so my biggest launch was a 33K launch with a clothing brand offer. And this is what I'd do if I do it again. And this is what I am gonna do with this trading offer that I'm gonna do. So the first thing you do is market research and a wait list. And so what market research is just getting to know the audience of the creator better. So you get to know what they're like, how they speak, what languages they use, what pains they have, what desires they have, and just overall get a better understanding for the niche. Like especially for me, I'm gonna be working in the trading niche. I don't really know anything about day trading. So I'm gonna have to, I know like options, I don't even know what that is. I know fucking like, I don't know shit, right? And so I'm gonna talk to the audience to figure it out. So the first thing you do for market research, or the first thing I do, have them fill out a type form to get market research questions. After that, just have them fill out their name and email, and that way you can start marketing to them through emails, and it's less friction because they don't have to fill out as much. You can get enough data just from like 300 people filling it out. So the questions you want to ask for on the type form are income, how much money they have to invest, what's their one big question about whatever the transformation is, and then what are their pains and desires. So income and money to invest is important because that's how you're going to actually price the offer. And so with income, you can be kind of subtle about it. So if it's a make money offer, for example, I'd say, how much are you making? How much do you want to be making with opportunity? If it's a dating offer, I'd say how much I wouldn't say how much you're making. I'd say, what do you do for work? How does that job impact your dating life? Or if it's a fitness offer, what do you do for work? How does that job affect your health, right? So you're not directly getting their income, but you can tell based on their job kind of like what their salary is, right? Money to invest, this one's kind of harder for like a lot of offers, but for mine, for example, for clothing brand, it requires upfront capital. So I'd say, how much do you have to invest towards your clothing brand? Something like that. And then the one big question is to explain away everyone's objections throughout your marketing, throughout your VSLs, throughout your copy. So this is super important. People are gonna ask, well, hey, can I start a clothing brand if I work a 9-to-5 job? And then what you wanna do, you wanna like hype it up, be like da-da-da, make 10K per month with your clothing brand. And maybe you're wondering like, hey, can I even do this while working a 9-to-5? Well, yeah, look at our recent student. He just hit 20K. He's working a 9-to-5 and he's in college and he's an athlete. He did all these things. He still made 20K with his clothing brand, right? So you want to put in, if you don't have testimonials to start, that's fine. But you basically just want to explain away people's objections, and that's what their one big question is, right? Or maybe it's actual stuff like, hey, how do I market my clothing brand? And then you can figure out what people's biggest questions are so you can build out a better product that solves all their problems. And then that's the same thing segueing into pains. It's like, figure out what people's pains are. Really all info is you're selling the transformation from where someone is to where they want to go. And then you're like, okay, how can I take all these problems and just compress them to make it as easy? You want it to be easy and quick to get there. And you want it to be guaranteed, like as guaranteed as possible, and you want it to be as big of a transformation as possible, right? And so that's kind of what the pains are for, is you use all that to make a better product, and you also use it in your marketing. So you'd say like, are you tired of manufacturers scamming you, right? That's a big pain that people have. Are you tired of nobody actually like ending up buying your pieces even though you know they're really high quality, right? Those are some examples of pains. And then desires are like, do you want to quit your 9 to 5? Or I guess more pain, like desires is just the inverse of the pain. So an example of pain is like, is your 9 to 5 draining you, right? Or a desire, do you want to quit your 9 to 5 and have freedom, right? So it's just the inverse. And the more you know these specifically, the better. So that you feel like you know the prospect better than they know themselves. And just show that you care about them. I know it might feel like you're manipulating people, which you are in a way, but you're manipulating them because you care more about them than they care about themselves. Because people do anything to stay in the exact position that they are, and it's your job as a marketer to actually like literally use every marketing tactic you have to get people to change their lives, right? And so that's why you need to use scarcity, you need to use urgency, you need to hype it up, you need to play on people's pains and desires and actually get them to take action. Get them to invest as much money as they possibly can, because then they'll take it more seriously. Take their very last dollar if you can, because they'll take it more seriously, right? And then you want to frame it as a wait list, because it turns people's scarcity brain on. They're like, shit, there's a wait list to get early access, and then people are going to join because it's framed as like exclusive, right? And it's not fake scarcity, because say your creator has 30,000 followers, you can't work one-on-one with 30,000 people, right? So it is a genuine wait list. You can't work with everybody, right? So just sell it as a wait list, right? So that is the market research and the wait list. That's the first step. Now you've collected a bunch of emails and you've gotten the ball rolling. You know your prospect. Now you can actually set a date and build up hype throughout the promotion. All right, so phase 2 of launching a creator and making multiple 5 or 6 figures is you want to set a date and hype people up. So typically I like to set a date at least a month in advance. And I mean, just look at movies. Like I don't know if you were around for like when they started teasing the Avengers, like Infinity War. They teased that shit like 4 years out. And then they just kept teasing it and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when they finally dropped the movie, it was like fucking crazy. And so the longer you set the date out, the better. Because I mean, for one, it shows you're putting a lot of thought and effort into whatever the project is that you're going to be giving to people. But as well as that, it just gives it time to marinate in people's minds. So when you first announce something, you want to be very subtle about it and not give off really what it is. You want to create this intrigue. Like, I'm working on this crazy thing. It's going to change a bunch of people's lives, right? And then as the promotion, like, just mention a date. Like, say it's June 4th and you're like, all right guys, July 16th, I'm going to be launching this crazy thing. And it's absolutely, like, I'm so excited for it, right? And that's another thing about promotions. It's all about energy, right? It's all fluid. And you want to, there's no, like, again, like I said, there's no specific launch strategy, whatever. It's just like energy, right? I'm so excited. Like, this is going to change your guys' lives. And then as the date gets closer, give them more context onto what it is that you're actually making. You can show like a screenshot of your notebook and like some notes of what it is. And then once it's closer to the date, then you say, all right guys, like enough waiting, whatever. On July 26th, I'm gonna be dropping the new paid version of this mentorship where I'm gonna handhold you to your first 10K drop with your clothing brand, right? And so what happens is you just mention the date throughout this launch, and it's like a snowball effect. The snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger until the actual launch date. And so what you want to do then is you launch, you open access, right? And you'll make 25% of your sales like the first day when you open access, 25% in the middle, and then 50% on the last day. You need a hard cutoff for the promotion. So like set a date for the actual opening of the promotion. Boom, just like hammer it, just hammer. All right, like fucking, let's do this shit. This shit open, show social proof. Be like, John joined, Harry joined, Dick joined. Like everybody's fucking like joining the fucking thing, and you're showing the social proof, showing that other people are caring about this, and then other people will FOMO in and they'll buy. And then you need to set an end date. All right, guys, 4 days left, 3 days left, 2 days left. And then on the last day, you'd be like, all right, guys, everything ends at midnight tonight. After that, you won't get access for this anymore, right? And that's urgency. It gets people to act now, because if you don't provide urgency, if you don't give people a reason to act now, they're never going to act and they're never going to change their lives. And then something you could even do is say it's like hard cut off at midnight, and then be like, you know, honestly, spots are filling up way quicker. We decide we're going to end things at 8 p.m. You have till 8 p.m. to actually sign up. You'll get a boom, massive spike of people joining, right? So that's what setting a date actually looks like, and that's what building up hype actually looks like. All right, so this is a simple one. Number 3 is minimum viable product. So instead of spending thousands of hours or hundreds of hours building out an actual program, when you start, just sell access. Or like if you're selling a one-on-one mentorship, I would say just sell access. Or if you're selling more of a lower mid-ticket product and you're not selling as much one-on-one access, then just build a minimum viable product. And so what that means is like, what's the minimum amount of material required to actually get people results? And I know like this probably sounds weird, and a lot of people in the course industry are like framed as fake gurus because they don't actually deliver on their promise. But trust me, I've done this from experience. The last thing you want is to spend a bunch of time working on a product. And this actually comes from the software world, because a lot of people, they'll spend all this time and money on developers creating this software, and they'll launch it into the market, and then people don't even care about it, right? And so like build the minimum, like what's the minimum amount of stuff that people need to actually get results, and then sell that. And then, I mean, for one, see if people even like it, or if people even want it. Then once you figure out, okay, like we do have product market fit, people want this transformation, then you talk to your customers and say, okay, what's the main thing you need help with? What are the main things you're struggling with? Ask them why they bought as well. And then actually iterate on the product and build the product. Because like I'll just use myself as an example. My creator and I, we have a clothing brand offer. Like I said, we sold a program. We spent a bunch of time building out this program. And then we realized that like 99% of people just need help with marketing their brand. And so then we're rebuilding this new program. We're realizing that like a lot of the stuff we worked on, people don't even care about. And we're putting way more focus on the actual marketing aspect, right? So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Sell access, then build a product. Or if you're selling a lower ticket thing, you can't sell a bunch of access, then just build out a very, very simple product, and then iterate from there and build a better product. All right, so here's the actual funnel. I'm gonna write one saying that you need to write down. I know this from experience because I've launched a bunch of shit as a beginner and it did terribly. And it did terribly because of this one thing. And your launches are probably gonna do terribly if you do this as well, right? Simple, you better be writing this down. Simple scales, fancy fails. And the reason I say that is because the fancier your thing is, the more data you have to track and the more room there is for stuff to go wrong, right? If something's really simple and something goes wrong, it's very easy to identify what the actual problem is. If your funnel is super complex and you send them to a Discord server and then the DMs, and then you send them to a school about page, and then you send them to like, once they join the school, then they have to watch courses, and then you upsell them to a high ticket, and you're doing all this random shit, it's very difficult to identify what the actual bottleneck is. And so you want a very simple funnel where you can just simply track all the different metrics and then identify, okay, here's like where the actual bottleneck is. I'm gonna put my focus on this to actually grow the business. So this is just what the most simple and like one of the best funnels is that I use. So you have traffic from the creator's audience, or you could use ads, but just say organic traffic, drive it to a landing page with a video sales letter. Under that video sales letter, have a Typeform application where you qualify the prospects, see how much they're making, how much they have to invest. Based on their actual Typeform responses, either send them to a page to book a call for a high ticket one-on-one mentorship, or if they're not qualified, send them to a downsell DQ offer where, say if you're running ads, this would liquidate your ad costs. But the DQ offer could just be like, first pitch them lifetime access to like a regular community. You could sell that for like $497. And again, high ticket, you could sell like 6K or something like that. 6K, 4.5K, 3K, kind of varies. And then you could just like have different amounts of one-on-one access based on that. DQ offer, disqualified, just means you could either send them to like $497 for lifetime access to the community, or you could do like $247, $297, whatever. And if they say no thanks to that, then send them to like a monthly subscription, right? And then you make money, and then you help people. And then that's the other thing as well, is for the DQ offers, and I mean just for everything, you want the value you provide to be far in excess to the actual price you charge. So if you, for the DQ offers, say for example, you're charging somebody $500, then in that actual offer, provide them $5,000 worth of value. And then if they actually receive that, if you provide more value than the actual price, you actually build more trust with people by selling to them. Like I recently bought a mentorship for 6K. It's like 16 one-on-one calls. I've only used 2, and I'm already like, hey, can I give you more money? Like this dude's such a G. And so if for your DQ offer, you charge them $500, you provide them way more value than that, then they'll come back to you in the future and be like, hey, can I give you more money? Your shit's really awesome, right? That's why product is such a powerful funnel. You can turn product into part of your funnel. That's why it's so good to have a low ticket product. And then it's like Russell Brunson's value ladder or whatever. It's like sell a low ticket product, get someone's first dollar over the board, then sell them something for $100, then $1,000. Homie sells shit for like up to 100K or probably even more. So yeah, that's what my funnel looks like. And then, I mean, the last thing is really simple, just launch and iterate. So you never know like how your launch is actually gonna do. Like I had my 33K launch in June, and then I had another launch, which I actually put way more effort into in July. And that launch made like half as much money as the June launch. So again, you never know how your launches are gonna go. So you just kind of have to like throw shit into the market, see how people respond, and then iterate. Either iterate the product, iterate the offer, or just iterate the actual like funnel and messaging. At the end of the day, like all of your problems can be solved by talking to your customers. So if your launch doesn't do well, hopefully you at least sold one person. Just talk to them. Why'd you buy? The people who didn't buy, why didn't you buy? And just like talk to your customer, serve them as best you can. And yeah, that's how you iterate, is just talk to people, talk to the person you're serving. And even for this video, I talked to people and I was like, hey, what do you need help with? And yeah, that's what I came up with. But I hope you got some sauce out of this. Follow me on IG, subscribe to the YouTube. I don't sell anything to my audience, by the way, just giving out free value. So yeah, see you in the next one.